Right now, Ripple is in São Paulo for FEBRABAN Tech, one of the biggest banking technology events in Latin America. Brazil's largest financial institutions are there talking payments, open finance, Drex, stablecoins, and the future of banking. And XRP holders are going to hear one obvious conclusion. If Ripple gets deeper into Brazil's banking system, XRP wins. But that skips the most important question. Does a bank using Ripple actually mean that bank is using XRP? Welcome to Realm of Crypto, where we take the loudest narratives in this market and stress test them. No hype, no price calls. We follow the products, the payment rails, and the receipts. Start with what is confirmed. Ripple officially lists FEBRABAN Tech August 24th through the 26th on its event calendar. And this is not a crypto-only conference. FEBRABAN represents Brazil's banking sector, and this year's agenda includes payment innovation, open finance, Drex, and what organizers literally call the global race for stablecoins. That matters because Ripple has already spent this year expanding aggressively in Brazil. In March, Ripple said its Brazilian platform now spans payments, custody, stablecoins, prime brokerage, and treasury management. It also said it planned to apply for a virtual asset service provider license with Brazil's central bank. And there are real customers. Banco Genial uses Ripple payments for same-day US dollar disbursements and is expanding into RLUSD flows. Braza Bank selected Ripple payments and issued its Brazilian real stablecoin, BBRL, on the XRP ledger. Nomad uses Ripple payments and Ripple's liquidity network for treasury flows between Brazil and the United States. Other Brazilian firms are using different pieces of the stack too. Now stop right there, because this is where the XRP narrative usually jumps too far. Ripple payments is not the same thing as XRP. Ripple custody is not XRP. RLUSD is not XRP. Prime brokerage is not XRP. A bank can absolutely become a Ripple customer without every transaction touching the XRP token. So does XRP still matter to Ripple's payment strategy? Yes, and we actually have a receipt. In Latin America, Bitso says it uses Ripple payments with both RLUSD and XRP as settlement assets for cross-border payments. Ripple's own case study says XRP can be used as the bridge asset while RLUSD provides regulated dollar liquidity. That gives us a much more accurate framework. The question is not, does Ripple equal XRP? It doesn't. The question is, where does XRP provide an advantage inside a much larger Ripple stack? Think about the options. If a bank wants a regulated digital dollar, Ripple can offer RLUSD. If it wants custody, Ripple has custody infrastructure. If it wants treasury management, Ripple now has that. If it wants cross-border liquidity without pre-funding every corridor, that is where a bridge asset like XRP can become relevant. But relevant does not mean mandatory, and that is exactly why Brazil is worth watching this week. FEBRABAN Tech is putting Drex, stablecoins, payment infrastructure, and open finance in the same building, while Ripple is expanding across the Brazilian institutional market. If Ripple announces a new customer, a new corridor, or a new settlement model, the first question Realm is asking is simple. What product are they actually using? Here is the stress test board. Claim 1. Ripple is expanding inside Brazilian banking. Grade. Confirmed. Claim 2. Every bank that uses Ripple automatically uses XRP. Grade. False. Claim 3. XRP has a documented role in Ripple's Latin American payment stack. Grade. Confirmed. Bitso explicitly documents XRP as a settlement asset. Claim 4. FEBRABAN Tech means a new XRP bank deal has already been announced. Grade. Not yet. And that last one is the one to watch, because the strongest XRP story would not be another Ripple logo on a bank partnership page. It would be a financial institution explicitly saying XRP is part of the liquidity or settlement path. That is the receipt that changes the board. Quick disclaimer, this is information and entertainment, not financial advice. Crypto is volatile. Always do your own research. So I want your answer before FEBRABAN Tech ends. If a major Brazilian bank expands with Ripple, what do you need to see before you call it real XRP adoption? Put it below. This is Realm of Crypto. Ripple is in the room. Brazil is building the rails. Now we find out where XRP actually fits. See you at the next stress test.